Continuing on, the next one is on the 15th, where we bought desks and chairs, and it talks about what they're worth, how much we've given them, and how much we still owe. So we're skipping a line here, and this is the 15th. Desks and chairs, if you look at the chart of accounts, furniture, number 127 is the best fit for that. And they are worth $1,880. And it says that we gave them $880 in cash, and so cash is going down. That's a credit to cash. So it goes over here in the credit column for $1,880. We still owe some money. We owe $1,000. We're going to pay it later, so that goes into accounts payable. And we owe $1,000. So looking at this transaction, you have one debit and two credits. It's a compound entry. And we're going to need an explanation here, telling what we bought and who we bought it from, and the check number that we've given them. Going on to number 18, where we paid on account. Excuse me. So as you're reading over this, on the 18th then is our date. We're skipping a line. And we're paying on account. So accounts payable is decreasing. So we're going to debit that to make it decrease for $320. And we're giving a check. So cash is going down by $320. That's our credit. And we're going to write who we paid it to and our check number. Okay, going down, we're skipping a line, going under the 21st. Read over that. And this involves a draw. So the date is the 21st. The draw goes into our Barclay drawing. And that's a debit. And we're writing a check, so cash is our credit. And what you're going to need on this one is a check number. You really don't even have to write withdrawal for personal use, because we know that drawing is for personal use. Okay, I'm running out of room here, so I'm going to go to the next page. When I go to the next page, I have to start off with the month and the day and the year. So you always want to do that on your journal. And I'm just trying to make this as big as I can so you can see. Okay, so here's the next page. This is page 32 now, and the year goes first, and 2010, month here, and the day is the 24th. And on the 24th we received the bill for gas and oil. And so looking at your expenses, there is an account called gas and oil expense. That's an expense going up, so it's a debit. And we received it. We haven't paid it yet, so we owe it. Accounts payable is our credit. And we're going to put who the bill was from and the invoice number. And then on the 25th, it talks about receiving and depositing tuition, so we're skipping a line. This is the 25th. You receive cash, so cash is going up. So that's our debit. And the account, our revenue account, is called tuition income. That's going up, so that's our credit. Explanation, receive tuition. We're skipping a line. And on the next one here is on the 27th, where we paid the salary, so we're skipping a line and writing the 27th. And as you look at this one, this is salary expense going up, so that's our debit. We wrote a check, so cash is our credit. And our explanation would have to be the check number, and that we paid an assistant. So moving along to the next one, skipping a line on the 28th, talks about buying a photocopier. So here's the date, and photocopier would go into equipment in this case. That's increasing, so we debit it. And we're buying an account, not cash, so accounts payable is getting bigger, so that's a credit. And in our explanation here, we're going to indent again, and it just say we bought a photocopier and who we bought it from, and the invoice number. So again, every journal entry has an equal debit and an equal credit, and the debit always comes before the credit. The debit is not indented, the credit is indented, the explanation is indented even more. So I'm going to skip a line and go to the 29th. On the 29th, talks about tuition from a student who was billed last month. If a student pays us, our cash is getting bigger, so cash is our debit. And they're paying on their balance, so that would be accounts payable that is going down because they're making a payment. The explanation is we received tuition that had been charged last month. On the 30th, we received and paid the utilities, so here's our skipping a line and putting in the date. And this would go into utilities expense. So an expense is increased by debiting it. And in this particular case, it said we paid it, so our cash is going down, so that's a credit. And our explanation would be our check number. Debit, credit, explanation. The next one on the 31st, skipping a line here, bought flowers for the front office. So this is on the 31st. If you buy flowers, it's going to go into miscellaneous expense. Expenses are increased by debiting them. And in this case, we wrote a check, so our cash is going down by 62. And then we would need to have an explanation saying where we spent the money for flowers and the check number. The last one, the owner invests his computer from home. Fair market value is $12.30, so fair market is not what he paid for, but what it's currently worth. So here's the 31st. Here's equipment, that's what he's putting in for $12.30. And anytime you invest something, that's going to be an increase to capital. And in your explanation, you're going to tell what he did invest. So owner invested his personal computer and printer. Okay. And that concludes 3.1a.